తెస్తున్నారా? తెస్తే దానికి పోయండి, ఎందుకంటే నేను నాదే కదా. ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. ఓం సద్గురు శ్రీ రామానంద పరబ్రహ్మ నమః. ఓం సద్గురు శ్రీ శివానంద పరబ్రహ్మ నమః. ఓం సద్గురు శ్రీ కృష్ణ పరమాత్మ నమః. ఓం సద్గురు శ్రీ శంకర భగవత్పాదాచార్య. ఓం సద్గురు శ్రీ వ్యాస భట్టారక నమః. ఓం సద్గురు శ్రీ నిత్యానంద పరబ్రహ్మ నమః. Atma Namaskars to one and all. You are all my Guru Swarupa. I am saluting to all the listeners, including our co-Siddha Vijyatis who are practicing this Siddha Vijja. Today, in Columbus, Ganesh Mandir of Indiana state on 2nd October 2022, I am delivering this lecture on Antarmukha Siddhayoga Pranayam. This Siddha Vijja is not a new one. This was there since crores of years back. There was one long-living saint, Kakabhushunda Maharshi. Kakabhushunda Maharshi, he was in the form of crow. You might have heard in Yoga Vasishtam. Yoga Vasishtam written by Maharshi Valmiki. Maharshi Vasishta told to Rama. That narration is named as Yoga Vasishtam. In that, Kakabhushanda Maharshi, he was in the form of crow, he told this Siddha Yoga Vijja. But later on, this was faded and revived by Patanjali Maharshi, Lord Sri Krishna, our Param Gurudev Swami Shivananda Paramahamsa, Brahmarshi, His Holiness Sri Swami Shivananda Paramahamsa, our Gurudev, His Holiness Swami Ramananda Paramahamsa. This has been coming very lately, and for the public now it is a new one. It is appearing like new one, but this is traditional Sanatana Brahma Vijja. If it is correct or not, if you quote Bhagavad Gita, nowadays most of the people are chanting and reading this Bhagavad Gita. This Bhagavad Gita is the song divine. The song divine means, song means swaram. Swaram means the sound you are getting through the spinal cord. When it is going upwards, that is called Om. Om. Om is not a syllable or a word, but it is a natural sound going upwards from downwards to upwards. that which you are not hearing, that can be heard only the people who are practicing this Siddha Yoga Vidya. Siddha Yoga Vidya. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Sri Krishna in Gita Mahatyam, you might have seen that prior to reading Bhagavad Gita, you have to read Gita Mahatyam. In that, Sri Krishna told Gita Jhaina Selasya Pranayama Parasacha Naivisantihi Papani Purvajanma Krutanyapi. Purvajanma Krutanyapi. Those who read Bhagavad Gita and do pranayama, Naivisantihi Papani Purvajanma Krutanyapi. He will never be touched with the sins of the past. Like that, there is another stanza in Gita Mahatyam. Prardham bhunjamanopi Gitabhyasa ratasada samukta sasukhi loke karmana nopalipyate. You know the word of prarabdham. Prarabdham means that is the effect of the previous karma. Now facing, it is called prarabdham. Prak-abdham. Prak means previous. Abdham, whatever you have done in the past, that you have to face the karma phala. That is called prarabdham. It is good or bad. Prarabdham bhunjamanopi. Whatever the karma phala you are facing, Gita abhyasa rata sadha. Sada. One who practices this Gita. Here, Gita abhyasam. Gita abhyas means one who practices this swaram, this pranavam or omkaram. Samukta sasukhi loke. He is only the liberated one, soul. Sasukhi loke, he the person enjoying inside, enjoying eternal bliss. Karmana nopalipite. Whatever the action he is performing outside, he will never be touched with its effect, karma phalam. So that is there in Gita Mahatyam. That Gita, which is called Song Divine, it is not telling about a particular person or anything. It is dealing and telling in detail about to know God, divine. That's why Bhagavad Gita is not named after any person, but this is telling, revealing about God. That's why it is called the song divine. In the entire 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, at the end of every chapter, Brahma Vidyayam, Yoga Shastri, Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvadi, it is there you are reading. So it indicates that whatever the matter, whatever the philosophy told in the entire 701 slokas, it is nothing but Yoga Shastra only. Brahma Vidyayam, Yoga Shastra. Yoga Shastra. In this Bhagavad Gita, there are very key important stanzas are there in 4th, 5th and 6th chapters. I think some of you, most of you are reading Bhagavad Gita. You are thorough with the Bhagavad Gita, I think so. I came here to tell the practical aspect of Bhagavad Gita. In the 4th chapter, Apane juhvati pranam prane panam tadha pare pranapana gatirvadha pranayama parayanaha. 4th chapter. It is telling about this Antarmukha Siddhayoga Vidya only. In the 5th chapter, Sparshan Krutva Bahir Bahyan Chakshashaiva Antare Bhruvo Pranapanam Samo Krutva Nasabhyantara Charinu. I will give you the details of these stanzas, but the important stanzas are like this. And in the 6th chapter, there is Samankai Sirogrivam Dharyan Nachalam Stiraha Sampreksha nasikagam sam disaschan avalokyan. You know? So all these slokas are telling about this Antarmukha pranayama. See, nowadays, everybody is fond of knowing about this pranayama. Pranayama means prana plus ayama, pranayama. Prana plus ayama, pranayama. Ayama means elongation. Elongation of what? Prana. What is prana? That is the divine life force which is being circulated in our body in the form of blood and other secretions and other things also, which are being circulated to the vital organs. This prana has got mainly two components. One is prana and apana. Prana means which is responsible for our upward inspiration. The apana is responsible for our downward expiration. In the 4th chapter, Paramatma says, apane juhvati pranam prane panam tadhapare prana apana gatirudva pranayama parayana. Apane juhvati pranam. See, this upward prana shakti, it always tends to go upwards, tries to lift the downward apana shakti. Again, the apana shakti always tends to go downwards, try to pull down the prana shakti. Like that, these two forces are acting against each other. Apanat karshati pranam, pranopanascha karshati, prana apana samakshipta, taddat jivo navisramet. That was told in Yoga Sikhopanishad and Annapurna Upanishad. Apanat karshati pran, when it is going upwards, the apanam is attacking downwards. Prana apanascha karshati, when the prana is going upwards, the apana is pulling down. When it is pulling down again, prana is trying to pull it upwards. So like that, these are quarreling with each other. But what is happening actually in our body, we should know. When these two forces started, two forces started, you know, and in the mother's womb, we don't have any respirations. When we are in mother's womb, we don't have any respirations. But no sooner our head or legs are coming out of the mother's womb, our respirations start. So respiration start means we people are thinking that the inspiration starts first. Inspiration starts first. But it is not so. Because if the exhale air has to enter into the lungs, there must be some empty space inside the lungs. But the air cells of the lungs already filled with some fluid. That fluid is called sphingomyelin fluid. In front of me, there are two specialist doctors. He is Dr. Kalyan, he is a cardiologist. He is Dr. Sudhir, he is a pulmonologist. So they know pretty well. Any doctor understand that there is some fluid in the lungs before birth. That fluid has to be squeezed out first. So unless it is squeezed out, you cannot take the extra air inside. But normally, layman and so many people, we think that our inspiration starts first. But the force which is expelling or squeezing out the fluid is called expiration. In that there is no air, but the fluid is being expelled out. That expelling of fluid outside is called first expiration. First expiration. From that, When it is squeezed out, the airway cells, air cells will be emptied. So the air will enter into the lungs. So first, apana. Apana means expiration. That has started first. Then prana. It is trying to go upwards. Like that, in every respiratory cycle, we are expelling and inspiring. Here, there is a great physiology and science behind these two respirations. If you understand the physiology of these two forces, you can understand yogam. Without understanding these two forces, you cannot understand what is meant by yogam. That is what is told by Lord Sri Krishna. Lord Sri Krishna. This downward force is always predominant than upward force. This downward force, when you see, you are expiring up to 30 centimeters. 30 centimeters you are expiring. And you are taking from 20 centimeters only. So in every respiration, you are losing that energy, that divine energy, to expel more, up to more 10 centimeters more. In that 10 centimeters of 4, you are losing divine knowledge, divine happiness, divine energy, and divine light. All these things are being lost in every respiratory cycle. Like that, per minute average, we are taking respirations 15 times per minute. So if you count that, 15 into 10 centimeters of energy you are losing per minute. Like that, 900 times per hour and 21,600 times per day we are losing. Like that, the expiration is becoming more predominant. And ultimately, only expiration, there is no inspiration. What you call that? Only expiration without inspiration, what you call? That is called expired. That word of expired is not known by these superficial people, but only a yogi can understand. So, loss of our vital prana shakti through the last expiration is called expired. Likewise, the first expiration which started in the from the mother's womb is called birth. See, without respiration, can you say birth? So birth means you started some inspiration or expiration. That is nothing but first expiration you started. So first expiration is called birth, and the last expiration is called death. Within these two expressions only, our life is going on. Life is going on. So not only in human beings, starting from the ant, in every living being, the downward, outward expiration is always more predominant than upward, inward inspiration. Understand? So what Lord Sri Krishna says, apane jihvati pranam, pranopana, apane jihvati pranam, pranopanam tatha pare, pranapana gatiruddha, pranayam parayanaha. Apanam, the downward expression, it is going downwards more, it is dominating. What Lord Sri Krishna says, you take this apana upwards and combine with this prana. You take this apana upwards and combine with the upward prana. That is told in 5th chapter. Prana apano samau krutva nasabhyantara charino. Nasabhyantara charino means there is a great practical phrase in that slokam. What is that? Nasabhyantara charino. Nasa means nose. Abhi means opposite. Antara means inside. So opposite to the nose, you have to practice inside the throat. That is called nasabhyantara charino. Nasabhyantara charino. That can be known for a layman. You know, if you open your mouth, you will see a palate, soft palate. At the end of the soft palate, you will see a pedicle-like thing will be hanging. That is called uvula. In Telugu, we say it is kondanaluka. Behind that uvula, uvula and above that uvula, you have to practice this antarmukha pranayama. That is Lord Sri Krishna told, Nasabhyantara charino. So without knowing this, most of the people, we are indrawing external air, keeping there in the lungs, and alternately closing the nostrils and expelling through other nostril, again taking like this, and what all you are manipulating is within the lungs only. But you are not directly catching hold of the prana apana. The prana apana are the forces which are circulated going upward through the spinal cord. Through the spinal cord, you know, the force which is going upward and downward through the spinal cord is expressed in terms of our respirations. Without catching hold of that force in the spinal cord, these people are trying to hold the external air and keeping in the lungs. This is not pranayama. This is called swasayama. Swasayama, simply you are taking more air and keeping there in the lung, which is we are trying to expand the lungs, saying that this is lung capacity. We are increasing the lung capacity. But there is a great science behind this pranayama is you have to catch hold of this inspiratory phase at the level of nasopharynx. This is called nasopharynx. That is the uppermost portion of the throat. Anatomically, that is called nasopharynx. In Bhagavad Gita, it is told nasabhyantara charino. If you practice like this, the ordinary respirations, which are going on 15 times average per minute, they will be reduced to 5 within the on the first day of initiation, on the first day of Upadesam. On the first day of Upadesam, they will be reduced to 5. So you can understand, you can reduce to 1/3 of the normal respiratory rate. As you go on reducing the respiratory rate, you can prolong the life that you know. So our span of life totally depends upon our respiratory rate. But to reduce the respiratory rate, don't take the exhale and retain in the lungs and count it that I am retaining this pranayama, doing this pranam. That is called hatha yoga. That is called rechaka puraka kumbhakas there. But the exact meaning of rechaka puraka kumbhakas will be achieved by this antarmukha pranayama only, not by forcible retention of external air. That will come under hatha yoga. Like that, there are some people, you take breathe starting from the Mooladharam. Most of the people, we say that this is Mooladharam. What is that? That anal part, the end of the spinal cord, we call it as Mooladharam. This Mooladharam is not, this is not Mooladharam. The Moola Adharam. Moola means root. Adharam means basis. The basis and the root of this entire body is situated here only. This is Mooladharam. Mooladharam. That from there only our Prana Shakti started first. So that Mooladharam, you have to start from here first. That's why this is a specially designed scientific technique, but not a new one.
coming from the Guru Parampara, as a doctor, I can say that you have to practice here from here only, through this. So if you go on practicing like that, there will be a friction, you know. When you are doing from here, there will be friction. That means you are doing against the normal respirations. That was told in Yoga Sikhopanishad. Yoga Sikhopanishad. Hamsa hamseti mantroyam sarve jivischa jepite guruvakya sushumnayam viparito bhavejyabaha. In that Upanishad it says every living creature or human being is doing hamsa japam. Hamsa japam means hamsa, like that. Whatever you take outside and inside, that is called hamsa. Guruvakyat, by getting Upadesha initiation from a learned guru, Sushumnayam. Sushumna means our spinal canal. You know, there is vertebral column. In that there is spinal cord, and in that spinal canal, there is spinal cord. In that there is a small, minute tube. That tube is called Sushumna. That we anatomically say central canal of the spinal cord, where cerebrospinal fluid, a lubricant like fluid, it is not only a lubricant, it is oasis also. That is there, that you have to take it upwards. That you have to take it upwards. That's why that slokam says, Guru Vakya Sushumnayam. Through the spinal cord, Viparito bhavejyabaha. Viparita means just reverse to the normal respiration. When you are trying to reverse the normal respiration, there will be friction. When you are doing that, with that friction, you will get heat. Not only heat, you will get energy. That energy in the form of heat, that will dissolve all our, not only dissolve and burn all the impurities in our body. All the impurities in our body. All these impurities put together in medical or Vedantam, it is called kapham. Kapham, you know. Did you ever hear about the word kapham or phlegm? Phlegm. Phlegm. That is a thick or thin, viscous material, including saliva, you are expecting outside. We say that that is coming from the throat. But that kapham is being accumulated regularly at every moment, in every cell of our body. Because to get energy, you are taking food. You are taking food, but that food is not being totally converted to energy. So very little amount of food is being converted to energy. Rest of the food is remaining as impurities. The impurities are of two types. Gross impurities, you will throw them through the urine, the motion, and through the sweat and the breath. But there is another subtle impurity that is there in the blood and the body. That is responsible for all the diseases. See, diseases means both including physical and mental. Physical and mental. The physical part, now the medical field is dealing with this physical part. But we are not talking about the psychic part of that disease, that is dealing with the mind. So, in Vedantam, this is not a physical exercise because it is dealing with the mind. So, you have to convert this pranayama into mental or spiritual energy. So, this mental and spiritual energy will be elicited by means of churning of your own life force. How you catch hold of the breath here, from here, you take it upward, and again push it downwards and take it upwards. This is the main essence of Antarmukha pranayama told in Bhagavad Gita. That's why when you are practicing that, you will get sound, you know. Where is the friction, they will get sound. That sound is called pranavam or omkaram or Gita Abhyasam. That is what Sri Krishna told. So this Gita Abhyasam, when you are doing this churning process of pranayama, you are getting sound. So that sound, when it is going upward, that is called Om or Pranavam. Pranavam or Om. But unfortunately, most of the people misunderstood and they are uttering Om outside. Uttering Om outside. When you are uttering Om outside, you are losing energy. Are you not losing energy? Whatever you utter, any sound, you are losing energy only. By Om or Am, some people say that Am, whatever you call, outside only, but you are losing energy. But in the process of this Antarmukha SIDDHAYOGI Vidya, when you are churning inside, the energy in the form of heat will be lifted upwards. Will be lifted upwards. Why? Because all the nerves, all channels, all these things will be cleaned out by means of Yogagni. When they are cleaned out, the life force, which has natural tendency only to go upwards, Prana Agnihi, whatever you call, Pranam or vital force, all these, it has got the heat nature. It is Agni. So it will always go upward. When it is going upwards, then only it is called pranayama. When you are again uniting at the seat of its origin, that is called yogam. So uniting your own life force, which is within your body, and keep it here, that is called yogam, not from the external aid. This is the clear definition should be known to this world. See, this external oxygen is only an inorganic gas. Inorganic gas. You can collect it in a cylinder. But our prana shakti is not inorganic. It is divine. It has got mind. It has got knowledge. It has got light, happiness, heat, whatnot. That is the divine qualities of our vital force. That is prana shakti. But unfortunately, we say that we are living with this inorganic gas. With this inorganic gas. So we are dying and living with what? When you are having that vital force within you only, you are alive. When you lose it out, then you are called dead. But this oxygen is always available, you know. That is always available. But this is only to maintain the barometric atmosphere pressure only. For example, I will tell you. When you're taking a cool drink, when you're taking cool drink, the air from external atmosphere will go into the bottle in the form of bubbles. Then only the drink will be emptied into your mouth. Understand? So without that air entry into the bottle, you cannot take the drink. So like that, when our life force, prana shakti, when it is going out, naturally this air will enter inside. This air will enter inside. If you go on filling this bottle again, if you are going filling this bottle with the drink, what will happen to the air? That will go away. That will go away. So this is the science behind this pranayama. So if you go on doing this, the external air into the lungs will be gradually reduced. Suppose you can question. Suppose if I close your mouth and nose, can you live without this external oxygen? At present, when the air pathway, which is not yet cleared, you cannot live with it without this atmospheric oxygen. But if you go on cleaning that, this is gradually reduced. That's why a person or a yogi who has attained samadhi means who doesn't have any respiration, but his life force, prana shakti was totally kept here without any help of the external oxygen. So this is called Antarmukha Pranayama Vidya. This is nowhere told except in Northern India, YSS, Yogoda Satsang Society of India, told by Mahavatar Babaji and his lineage, Yukteswari Garu, Lahiri Mahasaya, Paramahasa Yogananda. That was told, that is in the form of Kriya Yoga. But when you come to South India, that was named as SIDDHAYOGI Vidya. That is the author of the SIDDHAYOGI Vidya is our Parama Gurudev, Sivananda Paramahamsa, Swami Sivananda Paramahamsa. He is not an ordinary yogi. Actually, he was written in the books, and he is nothing but the crores years of old Kakabhushanda Maharshi. The crores of years old Kakabhushanda Maharshi has been incarnated in the form of Swami Sivananda Paramahamsa. That's why he exactly told what is Siddha Yoga. But recently, after prior to this, there are thousands of years back, this was undermined due to invaders, foreign invaders, and the Indian or Hindu culture is totally ruined by them. And therefore, now the Siddha Yoga Vidya is appearing to be a new one. But you practice this, that was practiced by all the great yogis, Narayanam, Padmabhavam, Vasishtam, Siktim, Tatputra Parasarancha, Vyasam, Sukum, Gaudapadacharya, Govindapadacharya, Sri Shankaracharya, Sri Shivanandam, Sri Ramanandam. Our Gurudev is Brahmarshi Sadguru Sri Swami Ramananda Paramahamsa. When our Gurudev was doing this penance, this pranayama in the caves, snake used to crawl around him. That's why he was named as Pamula Swami. Pamula, Rishi of snakes. She was named as Pamula. Like that, our Gurudev and Parama Gurudev, they were great use. When our Parama Gurudev was in trance, this penance, he attained samadhi and his body was kept in samadhi without food and anything. It stayed there for 3 years. 3 years. During the 3 years, the shrubs and trees crawled around his body. That's why he was named as Apara Valmiki. Valmiki, Valmiki Maharshi in Ramayanam, he came out of this Valmikam. Valmiki means the snake anthood. That is called Valmikam. So, like that, our Paramagurudev was named as Apara Valmiki. So, from these great rishis, this Siddha Yoga Vidya has come to now. I am the direct disciple of Brahmarshi Sadguru Sri Swami Ramananda Paramahamsa, and I have been practicing this pranayama for the last 43 years. And I, being a doctor, my Gurudev have given that facility and blessed me to tell this Siddha Yoga Vidya in terms of medical field also. That's why most of the doctors could be easily understand this subject. Not only doctors, even if I explain in terms of this medical terminology, even a layman also can understand. Then only you can come to know that what Lord Sri Krishna told in Bhagavad Gita is nothing but this Yogam or Siddhayogam, Brahma Yogam, Buddhi Yogam, all these terms are nothing but this pranayama only. In that Bhagavad Gita, everywhere, some people, they think that the Lord Sri Krishna told in 18 chapters, in 18 ways. Some people think that the 18 paths are told by Lord Sri Krishna. But one guru will tell to his disciple only one path. That path is Buddhi Yogam. Buddhi Yogam. Chetasa sarvakarmani maisanyasya matparaha Buddhi Yogam upasricha machitta satatam bhava. That is told in 18th chapter. Like that in 2nd chapter, Yeshate abhita sanke Buddhi Yoge trimasunu buddhayukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasase. So, whatever you tell about Vedanta, all the people will tell Advaitam. Advaitam, you know, Advaitam, everybody is fond of Advaitam. Advaitam means there is nothing apart from you. You are God, you are Brahman. Everybody says like that. Everybody says like that. But there is some gap between Brahman and yourself. There is a gap. Unless you fill that gap, you cannot say that I am Brahman, I am Atman, I am everything. Nothing like that. For example, I will tell you. There is one slokam in Manusmruti and Viveka Chodamani. Maya matram idam dvaitam advaitam paramartataha. Mano matram idam dvaitam advaitam paramartataha. When you say that I am having mind, some people say that I don't believe God. I don't believe God. Okay, you don't believe God. But do you say that I don't have mind? Nobody can, even the atheists also can't say that I don't have mind. So everybody has to admit that he is having mind. When you admit that you are having mind, that mind has got certain limitations. It has got certain limitations. It has got very limited energy. With that limited energy, you cannot understand the infinite supreme God. With this limited energy, you can't say that, you can't say that I am God. So increase your energy first and come to know that I am that. So that gap has to be filled up by increasing your mental energy. That mental energy will be achieved by means of this churning of our life force. If you do churning outside, you will get physical energy. If you do churning inside, you will get mental energy. So whatever the Vedantam you say, you have to explain in terms of mental energy. That is a practical. That's why in Amrita Bindoparishad it says like this. Manayeva Manushyanam Karanam Bandhamokshayo Bandhaya Vishayasaktam Muktin Nirvishyam Manaha. The mind alone is responsible for bondage and for salvation also. The bridge between the bondage and the salvation is the mind only. But when mind is with less energy, it is bonded to the senses. But when you increase the energy, that will be liberated, and it will get you liberated. So the difference between the salvation and bondage is nothing but the mental energy. Our Gurudev says, without a friction, there is no energy. What do you say? Without a friction, there is no energy. If you got an engine, if you want to get energy, if you pour oil, that piston in the engine, it has to work up and down. Then only that will be converted into energy. Like that, in our body, there is a piston. What is that piston? That is in the form of respirations. So when you are having a respiration, whatever the food is you are taking, it is converted into according to the movement of the piston. That will be converted to energy according to the movement of the piston. But our piston is mostly going downward and little is going upward. Little is going upward. Try to lift it more. How to lift it? remove the obstruction. What is that obstruction? That is nothing but the phlegm. That is nothing but the phlegm. That phlegm is in the form of butter, you know, that butter. If you want to get ghee, you have to heat up that butter. Like that, you have to heat that phlegm by means of churning process of pranayama, and you get that heat and dissolve that phlegm, then you will get energy. That energy in the form of heat will lift you upward. That is called pranayama. That will happen, that should have to happen within you only, not from outside. That's why it is called antarmukha. Antarmukha means inside. Inside. But whereas all these yogas are dealing with this external air and calling it so many things, yoga. So I'm not criticizing any yoga. Yoga is also necessary and useful for a common man to certain extent to maintain his physical health. Physical health. It is dealing with the bending, stretching, and postural exercise like that. We call it as yoga. But there is another supreme word that is called yogam. This yogam is not known now to so many. Everybody knows that yoga. Yoga is known, India is famous for yoga. Yoga, the origin of yoga is from India. But beyond that, there is a great word that is called yogam. That yoga was already told by great rishis, but that was unfortunately undermined. So now it is high time to know about yogam, because you are already well versed with this yoga, but now you have to come to the word of yogam. Yogam means it is a word came from combination of 4 pairs. That is called prana panayoraikyam swarajor etasastha surya chandramasor yogo jivatma paramatmano evam hi dvantajalasya sanyogo yoga uchyate. That is told in Yoga Sikopanishad. So our parampara, whatever we tell this Vedantam, we tell according to the scriptures only. We are not uttering our own words. We are all correlating with the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, and that like that our Guru Parampara came into existence. So if anybody says that it is my experience, you should not say like that. You should not say like that. Whatever you say, it should be in accordance with the scriptures. I am also quoting scriptures. You also quote that. The Adi Shankaracharya told like this: Dushtarkas Shuromyatam Srutavatastarko Anusandhayatam. If you want to discuss Vedanta, you should be correlating with the scripture. If you want to quote, is there anything quoted from Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, or Brahma Sutras? If you are not quoting that, your experience is something else. So there is a common platform to tell anything outside to the public. It should be in accordance with the scriptures only. Like that, Adi Shankaracharya himself declared that you have to tell philosophy according to the scripture. Even in Bhagavad Gita, in the 16th chapter, Tasma Shastram Pramanante Karya Karya Vyavasito Jnatva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartumiharhasi. See, whatever you quote, it should be according to the Shastram. Shastram, you know, Shastram means what all written in Sanskrit cannot be called as Shastram. That Shastram should be in the 3 ancient scriptures, what is called Prasthanatraya Grandham. Prasthanatraya Grandham means Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and Brahma Sutras. Whatever you quote, it should be in one of these 3 books. But all these 3 books are telling the same essence, that is nothing but Om. Om or Pranavam. What is that Om? Taking upwards your life force. It cannot go easily. You do friction and heat it up, then only it will go. So now we are in the gross state. Our mind, our body, and whatever if you are thinking about God also, we are thinking about God as a gross man, or a gross form, or a gross female, Something like, because you are grass. You are grass. Your mind and life force should be turned into subtle one. Then only you can come to understand that God is subtle one. Then ultimately you can conclude that God is nothing but supreme energy in the form of divine light. Divine light. So from that divine light only, all this creation has come forward. All this creation has come forward. Come forward. So if you want to know the exact nature of God, you have to go upwards by creating your own mental energy. So this difference should be known by the public. This difference should be known by the public. So what I want to say is, till now, so many people are chanting or reading Bhagavad Gita. I encourage them. It is okay. But you have to know the meaning of Bhagavad Gita. I say, what is that meaning? It is a practical thing. See, I will tell you, there are doctors here. Rest of the people are, see, our medical books are written in English. Our medical books are written in English. Those books can be understood only by the doctors only, who dissected the body and who have studied the physiology and who have studied the pathology. Then only they can understand those medical books. But a man, a non-medical man, comes and reads this medical book because he knows English very well. So he can read that book. Can he understand? It is impossible. Like that, our Lord Sri Krishna is Yogishwara. He is Yogishwara. He is a master of yogam. He told about the yogam. So those who practices this yogam only can understand Bhagavad Gita. Can understand Bhagavad Gita. That is Guru Parampara told this. But unfortunately, everybody is fond of Bhagavad Gita, but nobody knows about what is told in Bhagavad Gita. Understand? So if this is not...
Maybe we, now that we give the excellent context to the Siddha Yoga,
Yes.
maybe the audience may have some questions.
I will allow them some questions also. I will allow them questions also. Questions also. No doubt. My speech always ends with questions and answers only. I will never stop abruptly. I will ask questions to get the feedback. How far they have understood, I should know, you know. I should know. So this is a new, not a new method, and this has been coming from our Guru Parampara. And the thing is, this is not a difficult one. This is very easy to practice. In Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamottamam Prachakshaavagamam Dhanyam Susukum Kattumavyayam. In the 9th chapter, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam, 9th chapter, 2nd slokam, it says, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam, it is the master of all vidyas. Rajaguhyam, it is the topmost of all the secrets. Pavitram Idamottam, it is very pious and it is the greatest one. Prachakshaavagamam Dhanyam. That means you will get spontaneous result. Spontaneous result. If you practice doing this pranayama, you will get results from the day one onwards, from the first breath onwards. Prachakshaavagamam Dhanyam. Dhanyam means one has to practice it. One has to practice it. There is no other go. If you want to know about God, you have to do this only. Because Lord Yogeshwara Krishna, who told in this to know about him only. And Lord Yogeshwara Krishna is not a man, I say, mind you. He always says that I am divine energy. I am not a form. Aham Atma Gudakesa. Avyaktam Vyaktimapannam Manyante Mahama Buddhaya. In the 9th chapter, in the 7th chapter, he says that Avyaktam Vyaktimapannam. I am not a man. I am not a form. But I am energy. I am energy in the form of divine light. That energy in the form of divine light is there in everybody. That is in the Buddhi Guha. Ahamatma Gudakesa Sarva Bhutase Sthita Aham Aditya Vajnancha Bhotana Antayevacha, he told in the 10th chapter. In the 13th chapter, Jyotishamapita Jyoti Tamasa Paramuchate Jnanam Jayam Jnanagamyam Hurdi Sarvasta Vishidam. So I am the divine light. That light is there in everybody. But the only thing is you have to practice that and get it. You have to practice and get it. In Swata Satarvapanishat, it was told like this. That is, Swadeha Maraning Krutva Pranavan Chotararanam Dhyana Nirbadhana Abhyasa Devam Pase Nigodavat. You take this body as an arani, that is a wooden part that is called arani. When you are doing yajnam, you will have two wooden parts. You will rub them and get fire. So like that, you take the body as a lower part and pranav chotararinam. You do pranayama, that is upper part of the arani. So jhana nirdana abhyas. When you are doing this nirmadhanam means the madhanam, madhanam means churning. Just like you churn the buttermilk. When you churn the buttermilk only, you will get butter. Without churning, if you pour water in the curd, you don't get butter. So like that, you have to churn the life force, then only you will get that butter. Like that, jhana nirbadhana abhyasat. By doing madhanam and jhanam. See, jhanam means meditation. Madhana means pranayama. First do pranayama and do meditation. Without doing this pranayama, simple meditation is of no use. Not only that, it will suppress your brain, because always you are sitting like this. When you are sitting like this, when you are going to sleep, your brain is not getting sufficient blood supply. Not getting sufficient blood supply. If you are awake and sit like this, you are getting some amount of blood supply. But when you are sitting in meditation, you are still more losing this blood supply and go to subconscious state. That cannot be called as meditation. But if you do pranayama and make your brain alert by gushing out your oxygenated prana shakti towards brain, then your brain and body, everything will be erect. To do like this only, in 6th chapter, Paramatma says, Samankaya Sirogrivam Dharayan Nachalam Stiraha Sampreksha Nasikagam Sam Disaschan Avalokam. Samankaya Sirogrivam. Always keep your head, neck, and body erect. And do pranayama. Dharayan Nachalam Stiraha. That means you have to keep the body steadily, and Sampreksha Nasikagam. You look thoroughly at the center of the eyebrows. But most of the people, we are sitting with closed eyes and doing meditation. But Lord Sri Krishna never told like that. If you want to do this meditation or whatever you call yogam, you have to keep your eyes always upwards, with opening eyes only. Your gaze should be upwards. If you close your eyes, your mind will be open. And you will go to sleep. You will go to subconscious state. When you are entering into the subconscious state, you will get a state of drowsiness. That drowsiness, we feel that we are enjoying this Brahmanandam or eternal bliss. That is not that. That is only subconscious state. At that stage, your brain has already been suppressed. It has been depressed. You have to always make alert your brain, This pranayama is meant for alerting your brain by stimulating your brain cells. How? You have to increase the vital energy in the form of heat and send it to your brain. Then only you will get that enlightenment. Enlightenment. Everybody knows about this word, enlightenment. Light means divine light. En means to make. How to make your body or pranashakti into light? By doing this pranayama. Jhana nirmadana abhyasat. Devam means divine. Pasye nigodavat, which is already hidden in our body, you have to expose it out by doing this pranayama. So, everywhere you see, there is nothing but this churning process of pranayama. But in addition to that, to add it to this, we call so many words: bhakti, dhyanam, karma, and all this. These are all only the following principles of this pranayama. In Patanjali Maharshi, in Ashtanga Yogam, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Out of all these Ashtanga Yogas, the main principle is nothing but this pranayama. This pranayama. If you do pranayam, you can strictly observe the yamam. You can strictly observe the niyamam. You can have the asanam perfect. Without doing pranayama, your asana will also can never be perfect. So the main principle of Ashtanga Yoga is nothing but this pranayama one. It is same is told in Bhagavad Gita also. Asamsayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. In the 6th chapter, Paramatma told abhyasena. What is that abhyasam? Abhyasam means tatra sthito yatno abhyasaha. That is told Patanjali. So tatra sthito yatno abhyasaha. Whatever the effort you do, that has to be to control the mind. That effort to control the mind, which is going there at the seat of origin, that is called abhyasam. Abhyasam. And in Annapurna Upanishad, there is another stanza that says, Abhyasena parispande prananam kshayamagate mana prasamamayate nirvanam avasishyate. All these Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita told the same, you know. So here, there also, when you are doing pranayama, all these 5 forces, you know, there are 5 forces. What are they? Prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, vayus. You might have heard all these things. When you are reading all, wherever you read books, you will come across these 5 words. What are they? They are nothing but the prana shakti, which has been divided into 5 systems. That is called this, when you are respiring, that is called respiratory system. When you are digesting, that is called digestive system. So respiratory system is due to prana. Digestive system is due to samana. Vyana means circulatory system, vyana. And the apana is for elimination. And the udana is meant for this hormonal, endocrine system. So all these systems are working due to the division of this prana shakti only. So you have, if you want to control or make them united, you have to take it upwards by doing pranayama. So wherever you see, there is nothing but this yogam only. Understand? Now our friend advised me to allow the public to ask some questions. Yes, please come forward.
One of the things that we see, most of them, they say things, but Guruji defends the truth with his life. He was sitting erect, no support, for this long, and can talk with that energy. So being a doctor for a long time, at the same time.
Please come forward. Please come forward.
Also,
He is Dr. Jairam. He is professor for food nutrition and cancer prevention. He is professor. So he has been teaching all these things. And yesterday he got initiated. And you tell whatever you want.
yeah, so essentially, I could see that that strength and energy for 70 years old sitting there, no support in the back, and remembering all of those smokers and making sense and putting them together. And that comes with 40 years of his commitment to yoga, what he is trying to teach us. At the same time, 14 years of serving the Guru who taught him. And also, you can see that he's married, there's a family, so he's not somebody who doesn't understand.
She is my wife, you know, Srimati Parvati Devi.
So wife is here. So he's not like somebody who cannot understand. Yes, somebody.
That indicates this pranayama or yoga can be practiced by a householder. I am a householder.
Now, that is the beautiful thing about it, in a way that it applies to, we can draw inspiration that with all the responsibility that comes, you also can have deeper understanding of the scripture and deeper understanding of yoga and practice it. And that practice of yoga can permeate into how we can take care of the family, how we can take care of the responsibilities, and how at 70 years old can sit like this and talk. So with that in mind and understanding the fundamentals of SIDDHAYOGI and ANTARMUKHANANDA, so if you have some questions, I would welcome.
You can ask questions. But I am very happy that whatever I am saying, you are nodding your heads. That indicates that you are well versed with Bhagavad Gita and other essence of Vedantam. Okay, you can ask questions.
When they are thinking, let me ask you a question. So many of them, when you said, if somebody is reading a medical book, just because they have English, they cannot understand. Even if they understand, they cannot go and do the heart surgery like he does. So you cannot do the heart surgery. So what? So essentially, what happens?
He is a cardiologist in Louisiana. Renowned cardiologist, and that doctor is Sudhir. He's a pulmonologist in Indianapolis. Okay.
So I just want you to help them understand what you mean when you say initiation, what it entails. Initiation. What it entails, so that they understand.
Let them come to that conclusion, then I will tell about the initiation. First of all, whether they are concluded or they have come to that decision or not.
I was also thinking about the initiation and the practice that
you want to have initiation? Okay, how many are willing to have this? Okay, all of you are willing. Okay. So before getting initiated, I will tell few things about initiation. Initiation is otherwise called Upadesham. Upadesham means Upa means Samipam. Desha means Sthanam. So you have to keep your Jiva or soul or Pranam or mind at the seat of the Atman is called Upadesham. To get into that Upadesham, one should be a strict vegetarian, one thing. And you should get rid of these smoking and beverages. So if you are basically all right, I will give Upadesham. And one more thing is, you should have utmost devotion towards God and the Guru. So these four things are fundamentally essential. And with that, if you want, I will give initiation. And to practice this, you have to observe some diet principles like this, and taking more water and taking unnecessary food in the just like this yoga hut. Even we people say that there are so many probiotics in curd. You have to take this. That will see in yoga. Our principle is to increase our heat in the body. You have to maintain that heat. If you take these curd and other things for more water, that will reduce your energy in the heat. You leave alone the probiotics. You will get probiotics, all these vitamins, probiotics, everything you will get in the prana shakti itself. It is abode of all these things, because we don't know that that prana shakti, we are piecemeal, we are trying to get in piecemeal with all these vitamins and probiotics. Okay. So if you are willing, I am going to initiate you. Meanwhile, you can ask some questions. What is there? Okay. You are from which place? Karnataka.
So how is it different from Kriya Yoga?
Yes, there is no difference in Kriya Yoga and this Yoga, but the difference is there is some approach. The approach is like this. Initially, these Kriya Yogi Yogam will be told that you have to observe the chakras. First, Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka, Anahata, Visuddha, Ajna, Sastra, something like that. You will tell that, they will tell that chakras. You always keep your mind on the chakras and inspire. But whatever you inspire, you are inspiring external air only. You are inspiring external air only. That is called, you say that prolonged spinal breathing, you say. That is told in Kriya Yogam. In that, there is a step 1, step 2, Kriya 1, Kriya 2, like that. Meanwhile, it will take so many years. They are not initiating abruptly about this Siddha Yoga Vidya. This Siddha Yoga Vidya will be given at the 4th level of the Kriya Yoga. In the Kriya Yoga, after getting into the passing into 3 yogas, they will initiate that 4th Kriya is also, I am not sure that they are telling the same. They are not telling the same. But here in this, we are not forcing anybody. But at the same time, if you start correctly this pranayama, you will have results from today onwards. Because you are losing energy. When you are trying to take your reverse of this, you will get energy from the first breath onwards. So that's why in our Siddha Yogam, it's not a new one, you know. There is no chakras. There are no chakras. All the chakras are here only. In our Paramaguru, Sivananda Paramasa told that all these chakras are here only. That means you will start with Mooladharam. Mooladharam is here only. So practice from here, go downwards and take it upward. When you are going down and upward, you are doing this pranayama. See, for example, when you are withdrawing water from the well, you are withdrawing water from the well. When you are withdrawing, you are putting an empty bucket and fill it up and take the bucket full of water upwards. But while pushing downwards or pulling upward, you are above only. Mind that. So you are above the well. The water is below. So like that, if you want to take the water upwards, you have to withdraw from here only. So in our Siddha Vidya, this is not a newly designed mind that it is not, this is old method, but the description was not there. So if you practice from here and go downward and take it upward, then you will get energy. Where is the question of chakras? Chakras means those are mental transformations. The levels of mental transformations are called chakras. That will be experienced by a yogi who is initiated into this. Understand? So there is no difference in concept. They are both are okay, but the approach is different. Okay, right?
You talked about meditation.
Yes.
So it's when you try to meditate, that's when most thoughts come at you. You're trying to meditate, mind is most active. And then after some time, you kind of fall into sleep, kind of. Right? It lulls. But what I find good is that you feel relaxed. There's no anxiety when you're doing meditation.
Of course. Say, when our mind is agitated outside, if you go to meditation, that agitation will be temporarily reduced. But the root cause is not vanished. The root cause for the meditation, the root cause for your mind agitation is not totally removed. Why? Because you are not increasing its energy. Unless you increase your energy, that can never be demolished. The agitation of the mind is only due to less energy. Even if you go to sleep, your mind agitation will be reduced. Is it not? If you take some tranquilizers or some narcotics, that will they will also reduce this agitation. That is not achievement. So like that, during meditation also, initially you will get a sort of tranquility, but later on you will be landed into subconscious state. See, the subconscious state is most dangerous than normal state. In that subconscious state, you will some people have dreams. Some people will have dreams. In those dreams, they say that I have gone to so and so lokas. So these are all absurd, you know. These are all absurd. So our aim is to go to super conscious state. Super conscious. Now you are conscious. When you go to sleep, meanwhile you will get dreams. That dreams and other things they are called subconscious. And if you go to deep sleep, that is unconscious. But you have to go to super conscious state. Before going to super conscious state, when you are practicing this, you will be entering into a state called that is semi-conscious state. So conscious in the sense, so-called external wakeful state, we call this is conscious. You are conscious of the world, but you are not conscious of the Brahman. So because all the people are saying that this is consciousness, but it's not conscious. This is also subconsciousness. So conscious, subconscious, unconscious, semi-conscious, and super conscious. All these things you have to cross through these pranayama. So understand? Okay.
So you would suggest not to meditate?
Meditation is of what useful? Whatever you are doing, sadhana, it should be scientific, you know. Scientific in the sense, when you are now in a wakeful state, your brain is alert to some extent. But if you close your eyes and sit like that, what is that you are going to achieve? See, our brain is full of cells, you know, neurons. They should get sufficient prana shakti. When you are not getting that sufficient prana shakti to your neurons, without doing any effort, simply by sitting is of no use at all.
So in Gita chapter 5,
Huh?
in Gita,
Gita.
it talks about meditation which you referred to.
Yes.
What is the meditation he is talking about? Is he talking about the Kriya Yoga or Siddha Yoga? Is that what
Sri Krishna.
is referring to?
Sri Krishna told about this yogam throughout yogam only. And after that, you can go to jhanam. So without yogam, there is no use of doing jhanam or meditation.
Yogam comes first before you do jhana.
Yes, churn your buttermilk first. Then you get butter. But without churning, what is the use of this? What do you say? Yeah.
So is this a physical conscious or the mental conscious?
You see what you are? No.
Physical
Conscious means that is mental only. How can you say it?
How do you justify? Suppose as you said,
Because you are increasing energy, you know. When you are energizing, your mental judging capacity will also increase. Within no time, when your mental energy is increased, don't you judge yourself?
yes, sir.
Of course, Guru is there. Guru will be there. He will guide you. He will guide you. But consciousness means it totally depends upon your availability of mental energy. Mental energy is otherwise called the density or the available prana shakti within your body. See, when you are respiring more due to some wavering, you are respiring more. That means you are losing energy. When you are calm and quiet, how your respirations will be? They will be very calm and steady. The rate will be reduced. So the rate of respirations are indicating the mental status or available mental energy within you. So in order to increase that energy, you have to do certain practice. That practice is called yogam. What are you doing till now? So are you doing any sadhana? What is that?
I do meditation, I do chant, I do read.
What?
నేను చదువుతాను,
Ah,
read చేస్తాను.
Telugu varu. Cheppandi.
బాగా పుస్తకాలు చదువుతాను. Concentration గా mind.
You are from where? Which place? Kurnool. Tell me. పుస్తకాలు చదువుతారు. పుస్తకాలు చదువుతారు, సాధన. What is your question?
Is Siddha Yoga combination of pranayama and meditation?
Yes, it is a combination of meditation. I will tell you. If you get initiated, I will when to meditate, when to do pranayama, how long you have to practice pranayama, how long you have to go do meditation. So ultimately the word meaning, meditation. Meditation is a great word, but that was falsely understood, and they simply keeping closing your eyes and calling this as meditation. Is there any effort in that? In addition to not doing any effort, you are simply going to the negative aspect of it. See, when you are getting sleep means you are not getting blood supply to the brain. What do you say? Is it not? Right. Okay. ఏంటమ్మా చెప్పు.
నేను అలా చేయను.
ఎలా
నేను
చేయు?
ఏం చేస్తానంటే నాకు అంటే usual గా
నువ్వు ఎలా చేయడం కాదమ్మా, నేను ఎలా చేయడం కాదు, గురువులు ఎలా చెప్పారు అలా
అలా
చేయి.
కాదండి. నేను అనేది మీరు చెప్పినారు ఇప్పుడు మెడిటేషన్ అనేది కామన్ వర్డ్, దట్స్ అ వెరీ హై వర్డ్ అండ్ ఇట్ టేక్స్ వెరీ లాంగ్ టైం టు రీచ్ దేర్.
No, longer time కాదు. If you proceed in a systematic way, whatever the longer process or shorter process, you have to proceed in a systematic way. That is told in scriptures and our Guru Parampara. దాని ప్రకారం వెళ్ళాలి. నేనేం చేస్తున్నాను,
కానీ మీరు అన్నట్టు ఓన్లీ ప్రాణాయామం వలన తరువాతనే మనం ఇదవుతుంది. ఒక ప్రాణశక్తి మీరు యాక్టివేట్ చేసుకొని తరువాతనే మీరు ధ్యానం
అంతే కదా.
అంతర్ముఖంగా మీరు చూడగలగాలి అనేది మీ కాన్సెప్ట్.
నా కాన్సెప్ట్ కాదు,
అది మీరు చెప్పే
సనాతన బ్రహ్మ విద్య.
కానీ భగవద్గీతలో అదే చెప్తారు, అంతర్ముఖంగా చూడటమే. ఇప్పుడు పంచశక్తి, ఇప్పుడు నైవేద్యం తర్వాత ఓం ప్రాణాయ స్వాహ, అపానాయ స్వాహ. సో పంచభూతాలను అన్నిటినీ ఒక మనిషి శరీరంతోనే కంపేర్ చేస్తారు. అవి బయట లేవు, లోపల
ఓకే.
అదే దానికి
అవి ఏకం చేయడం ఎలాగా? స్వాహ ఏంటి?
అంతర్ముఖంగా
అది
చూసుకోగలరు.
అంతర్ముఖం.
బయట ఉన్నాడు దేవుడు, బయట
కరెక్టే. అవును, అంతర్ముఖం ఎలా ఉంది?
You have to compare yourself inside. You have to see yourself inside.
ఏంటి లోపల ఏముంది?
ఈ లోపల ఏం, శరీరంలో ఏముంది కాదు. నేను అనేది ఏంటంటే లోపల నీ ఆలోచన విధానము, నీ
ఈ ఆలోచన విధానం ఏంటంటే నీ లోపల ఉండే ప్రాణశక్తిని అనుసరించి ఉంటుంది. నీకు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఐ విల్ టెల్ యూ, మీరు డ్యూటీని మీరేం చేస్తున్నారు? వాట్ ఆర్ డూయింగ్? టీచర్. సో మీరు టీచింగ్ అంతా చెప్పిన తర్వాత, క్లాస్ తీసుకున్న తర్వాత యూఆర్ ఎగ్జాస్టెడ్. శక్తి సాయంత్రం మీకు రోజు అనుభవమే ఏంటి, నేను చెప్పక్కర్లేదు. యూఆర్ డైలీ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ దట్. మీరు అలాంటి వీక్ స్టేట్ లో వచ్చినప్పుడు మీ ఆలోచన శక్తి ఎలా ఉంటుంది? బాగుంటుందా? ఉండదు. ఎర్లీ మార్నింగ్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది? యాక్టివ్. ఎందుకు ఉంటుంది? సో మీ ఆలోచన శక్తి దేని బట్టి ఉంది? అది కూడా ఇప్పుడు చాలదు. మీరు ఎర్లీ మార్నింగ్ ఎనర్జెటిక్ అన్నది కూడా దట్ ఈస్ ఓన్లీ వెరీ లో థింగ్. మీకు ఆలోచన శక్తి అనేది ఏంటంటే పెరగాలనుకుంటే మనలో ఎనర్జీ అనేది, ప్రెజెంట్ ఎనర్జీ ఫర్ ఎవ్రీబడి ఈజ్ నాట్ సఫిషియంట్ టు నో దట్ ఇన్ఫినిట్ ఎనర్జీ. టు నో గాడ్, యువర్ ప్రెజెంట్ ఇన్ఫినిట్ ఎనర్జీ ఈజ్ నాట్ సఫిషియంట్. ఏంటి ఆలోచన అంటే మనకున్న ఆలోచన ఎంత? అర్థమైందా? సో పెంచాలా లేదా చెప్పు. పెంచాలి. అది ఎలా జరుగుతూ విను. సరే, సిద్ధయోగం జరగదని నీకెవరు చెప్పారు?
మీరు ప్రాణశక్తి యాక్టివేట్ చేసుకొని తరువాత
అదే నీకు ఏ పేరు పెట్టు, నువ్వు సిద్ధయోగం అనక్కర్లేదు. You don't call it as Siddhayogam. You increase your energy. I don't say that we need not name anything.
ఇంక్రీజ్ చేశాక చదివితేనే ఏదైనా జ్ఞానం.
చదివితే వచ్చిన జ్ఞానం అన్నది చాలా తక్కువ తల్లి. తద్విద్ధి ప్రణిపాతేన పరిప్రశ్నేన సేవయా ఉపదేశంతే జ్ఞానం జ్ఞానిన తత్వదర్శినః. You cannot know yourself. You approach a guru and do service to him and ask questions. Then only you can know the secret of Vedanta. ఏదో మనం చదివితే
స్వామి తత్వవిధానంద సరస్వతి నాకు
నీకేం చెప్పారు? ప్రాణాయామం చెప్పారా? మరి చెప్పకపోతే ఎలా అవుద్ది?
ప్రాణాయామం నేను ఆయన అట్లా ఉపదేశాలు ఇవ్వలేదు.
మరి
మామూలుగా
ఆయన ఉపదేశం ఇవ్వలేదు, ప్రాణాయామం చెప్పలేదు, మీరు చేయట్లేదు. హౌ కెన్ యూ ఇంక్రీజ్ యువర్ ఎనర్జీ చేసే ఎలా తెలుస్తుందమ్మా? మీ
నాకు వద్దు, నాకు ఇనిషియేషన్ అనేది నాకు ఇంట్రెస్ట్ లేదు.
నీకు ఇస్తామని ఎవరు చెప్పారు?
మీరు ఇస్తారని నేను అనలేదు. అంటే నేను అనేది నాకు వద్దు, నాకు ఈ ప్రాసెస్
నీకు వద్దు కాదు. ఓకే,
I don't know if this is.
ప్లీజ్ come forward. Please come forward and raise your question.
So I don't know if this is very relevant, but is there certain types of food like sattvic food that enhances your, pranayama, or I mean, what kind of food? I know you said vegetarian.
Food I will tell you. If you get initiated, I will tell you. Only thing, there is no vegetarian food is necessary. Don't take this curd and all these things. Take some this little tiffin, in the early morning. Take lunch in the mid-noon and little tiffin in the night. But never take curd or anything in the night. And it's a simple diet. There is no specially restricted diet for this pranayama. And moreover, if you do pranayama, that will decide what to take, when to take, and what not to take, how much to take. It will decide.
Pranayama changes your body and makes you
Definitely.
or makes you not want certain foods.
Okay.
I want to ask a simple question on behalf of all of us. It's a great lecture as always.
Now, come.
Yeah,
Dr. Kalyan, you tell.
one of the things that all of us, those of us.
ఇది పెట్టుకోను ఆయన, ఇది పెట్టుకోను. ఓకే, పర్వాలేదు, రైట్ సైడ్ పెట్టుకో.
I wanted to ask him whether all of us live in a very intense, distracted world. There's so much stimulation. We have a lot of information. Very little of it really translates to knowledge and wisdom. We deal with a lot. You open early in the morning, your emails and other calls, Instagram, messages, WhatsApp. What is the necessity? I wanted to emphasize the importance of the necessity of this SIDDHAYOGI process, especially at this time where you can see the turmoil of the world. Even when you take America, we have a lot of wealth. We're all pretty self-sufficient compared to where we started. Still, we are far more agitated, far more restless, running harder than ever. And what is the importance of getting into a practice like this? And especially, and what is the right age for children or others to initiate?
The age is, to get initiated into this, one should have crossed 10 years of age. So before that, we don't initiate. That is the order of my Gurudev and Parampara. So if the children get initiated before 10 years, there is every chance of taking this prana to one side. When it goes to one side, there will be chance of rupturing his eardrum. So like that, we don't advise. But if a child has grown up to 10 years more than that, you can understand what we can say. That too will advise them not to do forcibly in the young age, but at the age advances, you can practice at any. It will take time to, ప్రాణాయామము అనేది అది ఫిజికల్ అని అనుకుంటున్నారు ప్రపంచం అంతా. రైట్? ప్రాణాయామం అనేది ఫిజికల్ ఎక్సర్సైజ్ కాదు. అది మనకి జ్ఞానాన్ని కలుగు చేసే అంతర్ముఖ యోగ విద్య. అది చేస్తే గాని లేకపోతే కానీ మీకు అర్థం కాదు. అదేదో ఒక సెపరేట్ మెథడ్ ఎవరు కొత్త కనిపెట్టారని అనుకుంటున్నారు అందరూ. అది తెలియకే అనేక మంది గురువులు అనేక రకాలుగా చెప్పుకుంటున్నారు. అనేక గురువులు అనేక మంది రకాలుగా చెప్తున్నారు. ఏంటి కరెక్ట్ గా మీకు భగవంతుడే నాకు కావాలి అనే దృఢ నిశ్చయంతో మీరు ఆలోచించారంటే యూ హ్యావ్ టు కమ్ టు దిస్ ప్రాసెస్. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ డిసైడ్ బై ఎనీబడి. అండ్ నేనేదో కొత్తగా చెప్పి మిమ్మల్ని ఇంపోజ్ చేస్తున్నాను అనుకోవద్దు. డోంట్ థింక్ దట్ ఐఎమ్ ఇంపోజింగ్ యూ. బట్ ది థింగ్ ఈస్ you correct yourself, because till now you are suffering a lot. Not only yourself, anybody in this world is suffering a lot because of deficiency of energy. That energy has to be recouped by this process of pranayama. Understand? Okay. Anybody?
So with this, does the energy stay constant? You feel that energy throughout?
Oh, what? But
the energy that you will gain, you will be able to maintain that energy.
Yes.
Throughout your.
Yes.
Day.
Say, if you practice this pranayama for about 1 hour a day, 1 hour a day, that will maintain your energy for the rest of the 23 hours. But that doesn't mean that you have to stop for 1 hour only. You should go on doing that. When you are getting benefit of it, out of it, you will continue that. But at the minimum, I am telling that if you do yoga for 1 hour strictly, you will get energy and you can perform your duties 10-fold than your normal duty done previously. So whatever you are working outside is by energy only. By energy only. That too you are getting mental energy. When you are doing with mental energy, you can withstand and you can sustain like anything. Any more? How much time?
3 to 5. So we have 10 more minutes.
10. Okay, you ask.
So with pranayama, does the amount of sleep that one requires?
Please come.
So with pranayama, with the amount of sleep that one requires go down, or like
sleep, you mean
8 to 10 hours of sleep every day?
Right? Okay. Say, this pranayama will you take to a stage at an optimum period of sleep. Some people say that I have to sleep 8 to 10 hours. Normally we say that. That is only due to accumulation of water in the brain. But you do pranayama, your water in the brain and the body is reduced, so you will be always alert. Even 4 hours of sleep is enough. 4 hours of sleep is enough, and you can perform the rest of the period with energy only. So understand? So it is not a dictum that I should sleep 10 hours or 1 hour like that. But the purpose of getting sleep is to give rest to the organs temporarily. But you should not go to the depth, go to the deep sleep. See, sleep is meant to give rest, to withdraw this from the senses. So when you are withdrawing, your organs will take rest, including the these voluntary parts of the body. So until then only you have to sleep. Otherwise, if you go on sleeping, you are going on sleeping, you will enter into tamaha. Tamas, you know, tamas means your brain will be slowed down. You can never know the fact. You can never know the fact. So if you want to find out the fact, you have to keep your brain always active. Only during that period you give rest to those organs. That's all. Understand?
Change. There is no program until 6. So if there is interest in asking questions, we can continue with it.
All right.
It doesn't have to be about yoga. If you have any other questions about Bhagavad Gita or any other things, you're not able to answer. So
But I am happy you are somewhere touched with this Bhagavad Gita and other Vedanta.
I have one question.
Right. Sudhir. Come forward.
You have you have all seen what's happening around the world in the last couple of years. COVID pandemic, the peak of the suffering, physical suffering, the mental suffering, the emotional suffering, economic suffering, social suffering, and the people are thrown into a corner, and then you are shrinking.
ఇది పెట్టుకున్నాను ఇది పెట్టుకున్నాను left ear పెట్టు
being a shrinking individual. I just want to ask Guruji's take on this and tell us, we have a life to live every day. He has a life to live. He has a life to live. He has a life to live. The baby has a life to live. Are we going to live the life every day with agony, with a pain, or with a suffering, or with anxiety, worried about the future, worried about the past, what is going to happen in the uncertainty? Or are we going to have a decent day? I just want to ask Guruji one question. How this Antarmukha SIDDHAYOGA has helped us during the COVID time? He has a very open vision how it helped a lot of people in India and also to decrease the suffering. So, yes.
Because he is a pulmonologist, he asked about the experience of how I helped in India during COVID period. There was thousands of people suffered from COVID, Most of the people, they died of this blood clot in the heart and the lungs. All the people died of blood thrombosis in the heart and the lungs. Why these blood clots? See, I will tell you one example, Dr. Sudhir. In the beginning, when a person is suffered, attacked with this COVID, first there is loss of smell and the taste. Did you ever hear? So loss of smell and taste. Why smell and taste is lost? This is a big question. The smell coming from the olfactory bulb, that is first cranial nerve, and the taste is coming from the third, 9th and 12th. 9th glossopharyngeal nerve, 9th cranial nerve, and the tongue, the muzzle of the tongue is supplied with the 12th cranial nerve. That indicates when the corona is affecting a person, that is directly going to the brain. That is going to the brain. So you have to treat the brain, not the local organs. That is what I understood by yogam and other these things. Understand? So how to treat the brain? You have to increase the oxygen. Oxygen in the sense prana shakti. In those days, so many people were affected. They were getting this oxygen from the cylinder with mask. They are staying there on the bed for months together. But online, I have initiated this pranayama and asked them to practice vigorously. Most of the people, so many people, even so many videos are recorded. So when they practice this pranayama, within 24 hours, they have removed the mask. They have removed the mask, and till now they could not go out of the bed. But they started walking after 24 hours. Why? Because they have actually got this prana shakti inside by this pranayama. I will tell you a story, whether you believe it or not. When I was giving giving upadesam, initiations for so many people in Hyderabad, during this period, one person came with a wheelchair wheelchair and with mask, with oxygen mask. I didn't observe him. I have been teaching and telling initiations to others. Suddenly, the organizer who brought me there, Guruji, see that person is is in emergency. Immediately, I have gone to that person. He is with wheelchair. He could not even close his mouth. He is perspiring, gasping like this. He is gasping like that. Then and there, I have initiated. He took it immediately because out of fear of death, he took it immediately and started doing pranayama. And I forgot him. Again, I continued my initiations and all these things. After 1 hour, his wife came and told me that, Guruji, I want to take a photo with you. Take a photo with you. All right, you take. 2 sessions are over, 2 hours over. After 2 hours, this person came out of his wheelchair, deliberately walking to my stage, and he also asked me, Guruji, I was so survived like this, and I'm prostrating before you. Please take photo with me also, like that he asked me. So this has happened within 2 hours. So a person with wheelchair and oxygen mask came out of that wheelchair. He was survived within 2 hours with this pranayama. I have also challenged, there is in medically, there is ECMO. There is ECMO. ECMO means extracorporeal and what you call oxygenation of blood in the outside the body. Outside that, there is a new latest machine. There is ECMO. ECMO, So even if with the help of the ECMO, Balasubramaniam, SP Balasubramaniam, some other people also left this body, his body. But if they would have initiated in this pranayama, they would have survived, because this is a direct attack to the brain, because it is increasing the vital energy. When you are doing pranayama, it will increase the mental energy and prana shakti. Thereby, the lungs and heart will be function soon. So there won't be any chance of thrombosis. There won't be any chance of thrombosis. Unfortunately, I was surprised that the people who are suffering from this COVID, they were advised to take more water. They were advised to take more water because the blood is being clotted in their lungs. If you take more water, that clot will be dissolved, like that the medical field is advising. But the adverse result is that if you going on taking more water, your heat, whatever you call pranam, that will be going on losing. That will be going. When it is going out, only your blood clots. But if you do pranayam directly, there won't be any chance of thrombosis. There won't be any chance. Like that, so many hundreds of people were treated during COVID period by this pranayama, by online only, not by just direct physical initiation. So many, there were recorded in videos also. So this is not an exaggeration. See, this is a challenge for the medical field. Any man, if he wants to get clarified, let him get initiated in this pranayama, and he can understand what is happening in his body. What is happening in his body, because this is the direct increase of this prana shakti. Any more question, Sudhir?
One more question, Guruji.
Most
of people, I don't know how old are they, older, hypertension, diabetes,
yes. Come.
Yeah.
Come.
So you have so many very common.
Yes.
50% population, everybody has diabetes. And a lot of our diseases are due to atherosclerosis.
Yeah.
Good friend Kalyan knows that's what he
is a card. Okay.
Strokes, some heart attack, clinical vaccines, all about atherosclerosis.
Yes.
I just want your vision and enlightenment to see how this could help for those medical conditions and also the blood viscosity. And
yes, very good question. what Dr. Sudhir asked, how this pranayama helps in elevating or removing this atherosclerosis, hypertension, blood pressure, and all these heart disease and whatnot. When you are doing this pranayama, when you are getting enormous spiritual heat or energy, that heat will dissolve all the viscosity of the blood. Viscosity is responsible, increased viscosity is responsible for atherosclerosis. What you say? So cholesterol and other triglycerides and all these things. So these are all nothing but the solid particles of the blood. So if you do this thing, the enormous spiritual energy, heat, the heat will dissolve all these impurities, thereby reducing the thickness of the blood. Blood becomes thin, when once you are affected with heart attack, something, the doctors will advise to take ecosprin. Ecosprin is nothing but the blood thinner. So blood thinner you will have to take throughout your life. That is the advice of the doctors. But this pranayama, if you start doing this pranayama, your blood will become thinner and thinner. That thin blood will go to every nook and corner of the body, including your all capillaries. So when a person is doing pranayama, his face and other parts of body will become flushed with redness. So that redness is due to free, thorough circulation of the blood. So that's why even if this pranayama, you can treat any heart disease, including your atherosclerosis, hypertension, or myocardial infarction, paralysis, even bronchial asthma, anything. There is one doctor recently who got initiated in America online. She was suffering from sinusitis and bronchial asthma and so many diseases. She's a super specialist of sleep medicine. And she got rid of these symptoms within 1 week. Within 1 week. Because of all these diseases are nothing but deficiencies of energy. So Pranashakti deficiency itself is, in those days, when I approached my guru, he asked one question. You are a doctor. Do you know what is the root cause for all these diseases? He has asked me. I thought that for every disease there is a cause. There is a separate cause. There is a separate treatment. But no, he said no. Deficiency of energy, this Pranashakti is the root cause for all the diseases. So if you do this, you can get energy and you can get rid of all the diseases. Of course, that totally depends upon your effort, So I cannot say a blank statement. That will be according to your practice. Practice. If any person who is devoted coming here to get initiation, simultaneously he may be having some physical diseases. He will be get cured of with this pranayama. But I don't say that every patient should come and get initiated with this pranayama, because they are not devoted. They will believe the physical medicines. They will believe all this physical treatment. For them, I don't say. But the people with devotion, with ailments, they will get relieved of. I can 100% I say that they can get relieved of all these diseases. Only thing is you have to devote. Devote for what? Devote to your sadhana. If you devote your mind to sadhana, naturally you will get it. Understand? Okay.
Same in the context, Guruji, can you answer about the mental disorder?
Okay, please.
So in US, I think even though we are so developed.
Yes. Dr. Sudhir is again asking.
There is a everybody knows anxiety, depression, psychosomatic disorder, anxiety,
Yes.
we have thousand disorders that are psychosomatic.
Yes.
Mental disorders.
Yes.
Look at the global picture.
Hmm.
Every third person are on some kind of medication. Children who have autism, cerebral policy and all that stuff and like that. So I just want to see that Guruji's perspective on dealing with the psychosomatic and
Yes, yes.
mental disorders.
Yes,
The
yes.
role of
Good, good,
the-
good.
To answer your question, madam, Swami Vivekananda has said this. I have lived all this life. Whatever the knowledge I have gained was a drop in the ocean. Imagine to the Jnana Yoga, you want to get enlightenment, how much effect you have to have.
See, for all these mental diseases, mental ailments, depression, Parkinsonism, and whatnot, all these are all due to insufficient blood supply to the brain. See, when you are practicing this pranayama, not only here, as a doctor, I can describe to the doctors, but later on, even the practitioners of the Siddhavidya, even though they are not doctors, they can as well understand this. What I am going to say is, see, when you are doing this, there is a speedy circulation in the brain also. In the brain also. In the brain, there is a vital fluid that is called cerebrospinal fluid. That cerebrospinal fluid will be speedily formed in the brain by pranayama and will be speedily absorbed from the brain by this pranayama. When you are having speedy circulation with the CSF, all the impurities are absorbed from the brain into the blood, and thereby they will be thrown through the kidneys. And not only that, the oxygenated or the energy you got out of this pranayama, that will be supplied more into every nook and corner of the brain. You know, you are getting this respirations through one nostril only. You know what is through one nostril? Nobody will be having respiration through both true nostrils equally. It can never be. It can never be. That can be achieved only by this pranayama. So when you are getting more in this or in this, that indicates that you are not getting proper blood supply to that particular part of the brain. When you are getting more towards this means you are getting more supply to the left side. When you go getting more towards left side, your right part is getting more supply. That means always your brain is not getting uniform blood supply throughout. That can be achieved by this pranayama. So what all the things, due to lack of this blood supply only, gradually most of the people are suffering from this depression, Alzheimer's, dementia, and whatnot. So especially in diabetics, the people suffering from diabetes, they will be succumbed for all this earlier. So for all this depression, all these things, everything is indicating that you are not sufficient blood supply to your brain. So this pranayama not only get you relieved from the physical diseases, but also mental sufferings also. That's why it is called adhivyadhi nivaranam. Adhivyadhi nivaranam. Adhi means physical diseases. Vyadhi means physical disease. Adhi means mental diseases. Mental disease. So this can relieve all these adhivyadhi nivaranam. And another thing is, if you tell about this pranayama or Vedanta, tons of it, there is no use. Only thing is you have to put it to practice. Even an inch of it you practice, you can understand. You can understand. But to make you to understand, I have to tell the tons of Vedanta. Because you are all the way reading so many books, you are coming across so many Vedantic words. So till now, we don't know exact meaning of those Vedantic words. So they are all told about this Omkaram, Pranav, or energy only.
So now they may have a question
Ah.
like, how do I go about if they are convinced and they want to take
Initiation, I will now give initiation now itself. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
now it's if that is the case,
We will arrange. What is that?
2 minutes we can
Yes, we will give them.
conclude and get into that. Then you said tons of Vedantam is not going to be helpful.
Yes,
So why don't
definitely.
we get into the root of
Yes,
it
yes,
and
yes.
get practice? So and with that, I was just if you have any burning questions, we will still have a few minutes for this discussion and then close it and get to the core of doing it.
Amma.
Like after initiated and if you, after learning how to do pranayama, is that like we need to sit and do this pranayama?
On the ground only? That is your question.
I know that.
Of course, I know. Say, most of the people, we advise that you have to sit on the ground and get initiated. But so many people, they are not in a position to sit on the ground, especially in these parts of country. And so you can practice while sitting on the chair also. You can practice while you sitting on a sofa also. But the only thing is, you have to sit erect. It will make you to sit erect when you do pranayama. You can straight away cannot sit there because you are doing vayu sadhana. That will make you to sit erect in whatever asana you see. You sit there. So you can practice at all postures at any asanas. Antena?
So we need to think about the logistics of doing the pranayama and initiation. So you are familiar with this place. So any thoughts on that would be very helpful. It takes how long do you think for that one person initiating? How do you want to do it?
See, I will take a note from all of you at a time. That will take only 1 minute. And after that, I will tell the theory, exact theory, how to practice. That will take about 3 minutes. After that, I will initiate 1 minute. So all told, it will take only 5 minutes. But initiation is 5 minutes. But you have to practice throughout your life.
10 minutes window, it will not be condensed because it's a very important Brahma Vidya. It is better to take 10 to 15 minutes time to really understand. So right now, I just want to take a moment of silence and thank Guruji for sharing generously, not only from the scriptures, but also from medicine, but also we understand being a family man, all the struggles we go through, and also work for a long time in the medicine, helping people in the district. So let's take a moment of silence and thank him and thank other gurus.
So before initiation, we shall close this session and initiate you. Okay? Amma, we are going to close this session by praying. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Gobrahminebhyah Subhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhno Bhavantu. Om Sarve Sukhna Santu Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrana Pasyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Sahna Vavtu Sahno Bhunuktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvina Vadhetamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti 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 Hi. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Jai Gurudev.